Hey everybody! This video is going to talk about how the leading coefficient affects the graph of an absolute value function. So, for each of these functions, we want to determine three items. First, we want to determine if it opens up or down. Okay. The negative in front of this leading coefficient, if the leading coefficient is less than 0, so if a is less than 0, then it's going to open down. If a is greater than 0, it just looks kind of normal, like y equals absolute value of x, and it's going to open up. So this one opens up, this one opens down, 1/3, that's going to open up, 1/2, that's going to open up. Now it says choose the function with the narrowest graph. So remember, absolute value functions look like this. A narrow v is going to look like this, and a wide v is going to look like this. If I have a 2 in front of my absolute value, that means each of my outputs is getting stretched up. Okay, each of my outputs is getting multiplied by 2. So if my output was, on the absolute value graph, if my output was 1, now I multiply that by 2 and it becomes 2 up here. So I'm going to end up getting this skinnier v. The bigger the number, the more it's going to stretch. So the biggest number is, the narrowest number is going to be this -4. Now the opposite happens when there's a fraction or a value less than 1, or in between -1 and 1. And that is that we start getting wider. And the smallest fraction ends up being the one where it gets the widest, because we're taking our outputs and now we're dividing them by a number. Multiplying by fraction, we just do 1 times square root x. Then we divide that whole thing by 3. I'm sorry, not square root, absolute value. So we end up getting a really wide one. So the widest one on this is 1/3, because that is the smallest fraction we have.